Do you want to know when World War III will start? We've heard about this war for a long time, but we still don't know when it will begin. But recently, a former British Army officer made a stunning World War III prediction that shocked everyone. He claimed that Russia's invasion of Ukraine is just a prelude to the real war, which will be between China and Taiwan. According to him, World War III will break out in the next 10 years. So what exactly did he say? How did he reach this conclusion? And how reliable is his prediction? Join us today in this video where we shall explore how a former British Army officer predicted World War III will start. Major General Chris Herity is a retired British Army officer who was the commander of the 1st Armoured Division from 2014 to 2016. He is also a regular commentator on defence and military affairs in the UK and other parts of the world. In a recent interview with the media, Major General Chris Herity said that the war between Russia and Ukraine is just a small preview of what is coming in the next 10 years. According to him, the war between Russia and Ukraine is not about Ukraine at all, but it's about sending a message to Taiwan. He argues that the Russian invasion of Ukraine is a message to China with Taiwan as the intended recipient. He says that Chinese President Xi Jinping sees Taiwan as the unfinished business of the Chinese reunion. Just like Russia, China has ambitions of reuniting its separated territories. This is one of the reasons why China sees Taiwan as a breakaway province that needs to be brought back into the mainland by force, if necessary. But Major General Chris Herity argues that the Russian invasion of Ukraine is a clear signal to Taiwan that China will soon come for them to. It is a warning that China is watching, and that they will do exactly what Russia is doing to Ukraine. He says that the only difference between Taiwan and Ukraine is that China will attack Taiwan with the full knowledge that the United States will get involved. Unlike Russia, China knows that it will face stiff resistance from the West if it invades Taiwan. For this reason, Major General Chris Herity believes that China will not risk invading Taiwan so soon. Instead, China will bide its time until it is strong enough to deal with the United States and its allies. The former British Army officer further explains that China's plan to invade Taiwan will come to fruition in the next 10 years. Within the next 10 years, China will be more powerful than the United States and its allies. At that time, the balance of power will shift, and China will feel emboldened to attack Taiwan. According to Major General Chris Herity, China's invasion of Taiwan will mark the beginning of World War III. The war between China and Taiwan will be the real war, because it will involve all major world powers. The Western world, led by the United States, will come to the defense of Taiwan. On the other hand, Russia and other countries such as North Korea, Iran and Syria will support China in its war against Taiwan. What makes the prediction of World War III by Major General Chris Herity even more interesting is that it tallies with those of other experts. Many people have predicted that the war between China and Taiwan will be the next major war after the Second World War. Some reports indicate that the United States government believes that the war between China and Taiwan is inevitable. The US government is preparing for this war by strengthening its military alliances in the Pacific region. Recently, the US sent its most advanced fighter jets to the Asia-Pacific region to warn China of its growing aggression. These are just some of the efforts that the US is undertaking to counter China's aggression in the region. But why does China have interest in Taiwan? What makes this small island so special to Beijing? One of the main reasons why China wants Taiwan is because it's an integral part of China. China sees Taiwan as a breakaway province that must be brought back to the motherland by force if necessary. This view is based on the One China principle that was established in 1949. After the Communist Party won the Chinese Civil War in 1949, the defeated nationalists fled to Taiwan and set up a rival government there. This was a major setback for the communists, who saw Taiwan as a renegade province that needed to be brought back into the fold. As a result, the Chinese leader at the time, Mao Zedong, declared that there is only one China, and both mainland China and Taiwan are part of it. This became the official policy of the Chinese government, and it continues to be a source of tension between China and Taiwan even to this day. Another reason why China wants Taiwan is because of its strategic importance. Taiwan is located in a strategic location in the Pacific Ocean. This makes it an important military asset for any power that controls it. China sees Taiwan as a key part of its defense system against the United States and its allies. By controlling Taiwan, China would be able to project its power into the Pacific and control important shipping lanes. This would make it difficult for the US and its allies to operate in the region, and it would give China a major advantage in any conflict. Despite these reasons, many people believe that China will not invade Taiwan anytime soon. They argue that China knows that it would face stiff resistance from the West if it did. China is still recovering from the economic sanctions imposed on it after the Russian invasion of Ukraine. The West will use the same tactics on China if it dares to attack Taiwan. Besides, the cost of invading Taiwan would be too high for China to handle. The Chinese economy is not as strong as the American economy. A war between China and Taiwan would be costly for China, which is already facing economic challenges. China's invasion of Taiwan will be a humanitarian crisis unlike any other in history. Millions of people will lose their lives in this war. The Chinese military is ruthless, and it will not spare the Taiwanese civilians during the war. It's also likely that the United Nations will impose tough sanctions on China after the war. These sanctions will cripple the Chinese economy, and it will take years before it recovers. There is also the possibility that the war between China and Taiwan could escalate into a nuclear war. Both China and the United States have nuclear weapons, and there is a risk that the fighting could spiral out of control and lead to a nuclear exchange. This would be disastrous for the entire world, and it would cause massive destruction and loss of life. It's true that the Russian invasion of Ukraine has caught many people by surprise. Many Western leaders claimed that it would never happen despite warnings from experts. But Russia's invasion of Ukraine should not be an indication of what is to come, because Russia is a dying nation. Its economy is weak and its military is outdated. The Russian invasion of Ukraine has exposed the weaknesses of the Russian military. If China were to invade Taiwan, it would be a different story altogether. The Chinese military is modern and well-equipped. It's also much larger than the Taiwanese military. If China were to invade Taiwan, the Taiwanese would have no chance of winning the war. Some people believe that the Russian invasion of Ukraine is just a distraction from China. Its plans to invade Taiwan. Russia's invasion of Ukraine has taken the attention of the world away from China. China has been taking advantage of this to make moves that it would not have been able to make had the world not been focused on Russia. For example, China has been provoking India in the border areas. If the world was focused on China, it would not have been able to get away with this. In conclusion, Major General Chris Heritage's prediction of World War III starting in the next 10 years due to China's invasion of Taiwan is worrying. It's a sobering reminder of the challenges that lie ahead and the need for vigilance. However, it's also important to note that predictions are just that. Predictions are not a guarantee of what will happen in the future. We should not allow fear or anxiety to consume us, but rather focus on the present moment and make the most of it. Let us hope that Major General Chris Heritage's prediction is wrong, but let us also be prepared for whatever the future may hold. Thank you for watching this video. Do you think World War III will start in the next 10 years? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on our latest videos.